Buenos días. In this video vamos a hablar de unas preposiciones. We're going to talk about some prepositions in Spanish. This is a new topic for me as far as well, what we're doing here as a video. I haven't done this yet, so hopefully this is useful to you. It's good for talking about asking for directions, giving directions, listening to directions, following the directions. A lot of vocab involved, and I give you a chance to practice talking about where things are located, as well as listening to some directions, and you can practice that as well. So ideally what you're going to do is in the description of this video there's a link. It will take you to a document that has like 3 pages and it has a bunch of vocab on it as well as 2 activities and the answers to the activities as well on that document. So open that up so that you can follow along with this lesson and get its full use. So now that you have the document open, I'm just going to kind of give you some pronunciation of some of these prepositional phrases for you so you know how they sound. Starting at the top, we have cerca, delante, a la derecha, detrás, enfrente, entre, a la izquierda, al lado, lejos, quedar, encima de, debajo de, arriba de, frente a. So those are some of the words that you might be able to use. Type them on here. When talking about or listening to directions or locations of things. Here are some phrases that you might be able to use when asking for directions. Perdone, ¿sabe usted dónde está or dónde están? Perdone, ¿sabe usted dónde queda? Perdone, ¿cómo llego a? So I kind of put those in. This is how I'd ask them, excuse me, do you know where this place is? Or excuse me, do you know how to get to? That's kind of how I would say the question. So that's why I put them like that. And then some responses that you may hear to your questions are probably going to come in like a command form if they know the answer to you. So I gave you, I got 6 verbs here, and I gave you the usted command that you might hear in response to your question. And those are doble, siga, camine, ande, cruce, salga. I'm sure there are other words, but those are the ones that came to my mind right off the bat here. And then there's some other useful vocabulary when talking about or giving or receiving directions, just some words you might want to know. La calle, el camino, la dirección, la avenida, la cuadra, derecho, desde, la esquina, hasta, el mapa. So this is some vocab for you. Hopefully that's useful. If you go into the second page on the handout, I have a map for you, and we're going to use that map in the next 2 activities, so you're going to want to be able to see that. So for the first activity, what I'm going to have you do is tell me where something is located based on the location of something else. I do have an example for you. So first of all, we're looking at, I have 2 examples for you. Okay, so if I gave you like La Zapateria, the shoe store, and the farmacia, I want you to tell me, if we're looking at the map, where's the shoe store based on the location of the pharmacy? So it is clearly we'll say it's to the left of it. So the sentence would be La zapatería está a la izquierda de la farmacia. And then if we're looking at la joyería, the jewelry store, and the café, it's to the right of it. So I'm going to say La joyería está a la derecha del café. So what I want you to do for this activity is there are 3 pairs of places. I want you to kind of write me a sentence like those other 2 examples, telling you that this place is something to this place, in front of, behind, next to, far away, whatever. And then we'll go over the answers in a second. Before I do that, though, I want you to take a look at activity 2, and you can do that one as well at the same time. You can pause the video, do them, and then come back and I'll give you my answers. So for activity 2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some directions. And what I want you to do is see if you can follow the map and find the right destination using my directions. We'll use the red circle that's on the map right now as a starting point for an example, and I'll give you 2 sets of directions that you can try and do on your own. So for the red dot, my example is salga a la calle Santa Teresa, which is like saying go out or leave to the street Santa Teresa. Doble a la derecha, turn right, y camine media cuadra, and walk half a block. Doble a la izquierda, turn left, y siga una cuadra, and continue 1 block. Doble a la izquierda, turn left, y camine media cuadra, and walk half a block. Tu destinación está a la izquierda. Your destination is on the left. Okay, yes, what is it? And the answer is La Librería, the bookstore. So I'm going to read the other 2 sets of directions to you. I'm not going to translate them for you. You can see if you can figure that out on your own. And then I'll explain both the answers to the first and the second activity. So the blue, starting at the blue dot, your directions are salga de la farmacia y doble a la izquierda. Camine una cuadra y media hasta la calle 7. doble a la derecha. Siga 2 cuadras y doble a la derecha. Camine media cuadra, que está a la derecha. And then starting at the green point, salga del estadio y doble a la derecha. Camine 2 cuadras y doble a la izquierda. Ande 1 cuadra y doble a la izquierda. Ande 1 cuadra más y doble a la derecha. Camine media cuadra, que está a la derecha. So let's go over some answers here if you've finished the activities. For the first activity, we're talking about where things are located. Some of these have more than one possible answer. I'm just going to give you my answers. So for one, we're going to say, La librería está detrás de la joyería. So the bookstore is behind the jewelry store. Las casas están enfrente del centro comercial. The houses are in front of the mall. And the last one, la zapatería está lejos del estadio. The shoe store is far away from the stadium. And then the answers for activity 2 are, for the blue dot, estadio, and the green dot, zapateria. Just in case you get lost or you got the wrong answer, I'll translate the directions for you in English right now, if that helps. So the blue dot says, leave the pharmacy and turn to the left. Walk 1.5 blocks until street 7. Turn to the right. Continue 2 blocks and turn to the right. Walk a half a block. What's on the right? And then for the green directions are, leave the stadium and turn right. Walk 2 blocks and turn left. Walk 1 block and turn left. Walk 1 more block and turn to the right. Walk a half a block. What's on the right? So those are the directions I gave you and the answers. Hopefully this is helpful because I imagine that if you're ever like me and I got lost one time in Mexico, so I needed to get directions back to the city. And well, this helped me out knowing that how to say some of these things, ask where things are, and being able to understand walk or turn or left or right, straight ahead, stuff like that. They're really useful phrases if you're needing directions in a Spanish-speaking country. That's it. If you have questions or want to know how to say something else that I did not put on that document or whatever, just let me know and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.